Yes, Pastry 101, where baking becomes simple, skills grow fast, and every recipe builds confidence. I like that, Taffy.
I love it.
Confidence.
Love it.
Yeah, people, when you're doing a pastry, you need to have a confidence. Even a food, you should have a confidence.
Absolutely. I agree on that.
You need to learn from your mistake. First time you will do the croissant, for sure you will big mess for sure.
Yes.
Anything that you don't know for the first time you will do it, you will have a mess. So don't be afraid, people, because you learn from those mistakes. Right, Shafi?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And for the sake of our first episode, we need an applause, Shafi. We need an applause because this is our first episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Definitely first episode.
New
So people,
podcast, new episode.
new, yeah,
Here we
new
go.
episode, new season. People, Chef Alessandro and I doing Food 101 for 6 years already. So
Yes.
I suggest, Chef, it's time to have a new podcast. Said, okay, yes, why not Pastry 101? He said, and I said, yes, yes, yes. I always yes. If Chef Alessandro will tell me next Sunday that we need to have one more podcast. I say, yes, Chevy, let's do another one more podcast until we get five podcasts together.
Well,
Why
the idea
not?
was what we just talked even on when we was talking on the Food 101 today. It's to give the chance, the opportunity to people to to know even about pastry too. Well, we're not going to talk
Mm,
about just Italian pastry. Talk about pastry in general, everything. So before we go on the recipes, we're going to give a little bit of basic of the pastry. How to deal with the pastry and. What's the difference between the pastry, professional pastry, and a homemade pastry? But like we do on the Food 101, we always want to make it easy, a simple recipe for everybody because everybody they don't want to spend too much time in the kitchen. I know that, but
mm-hmm.
so when you're making pastry, you enjoy, especially when you have, especially when you have kids or you want to surprise somebody at home. It's want to make something different, something cool. you know it's nice to know and to you can find all the recipe as we say on the Food 101 for now, and then maybe I don't know if Daniel will decide to make another website.
Yeah, yes. We do another website for Pastry 101. For the meantime, please do visit our official website for the meantime www.food101.ca. So we will do www.pastry101.ca if it's possible. If it's still the domain is still available, why not? And again, we are happy that you are supporting us from Food 101 to Pastry 101. We'll give you the best of the best because our aim here is to give you a bigger.
Better and bolder.
Yes, that is our aim, people. Bigger, better, and bolder. Indeed. So, Shafi, what will be our topic for today
Well,
on.
before that, I want to just give a little things. Like I born as a pastry chef. So I my first job was, yeah, of course, on the kitchen because I went to culinary school. But my second season I was working, I went straight to the pastry. So I worked as a pastry for how many years? Many years. So
Many years?
I know a little bit of my pastry job. So then after I went back in the kitchen, like a regular kitchen, and I became a chef. But because I always want to know what's going on and how long it's going to take to make things in the pastry dough. Of course, you don't have to learn about cooking. You need to know all the step by step all the part of the kitchen. But pastry was always my. I have a sweet tooth, so I always my dream, and I want to really want to always want to be on the pastry. I learned from a great pastry chef in Italy, and I never regret whatever I did and all the steps that I did. So I hope all my experience I can share with this podcast in the future coming, and and let's see what's going on.
sure every episode that we're doing with Chef Alessandra on Pastry 101 is something that align in your daily lives. Just like our topic for today, right, Chefy? What the difference between baking and pastry art?
Absolutely. Well, if you're talking about the baking versus the pastry, the baking is a general, the general term is include bread, cakes, cookies, and even simple dessert. With the pastry art, go much, much deeper. So you're looking at a pastry chef with a focus more in texture, structure, temperature, presentation. In cooking, you can adjust as you go, but in pastry you must respect the recipe. That's the most important thing. The recipe, you have to follow recipe. You can't go by eye, that's for sure.
To be precise as well. So, Shafi, what are the core ingredients of flour, fat, sugar, or eggs for pastry?
Well, the for the most well the ingredient that you can do almost everything with that ingredient. That's the most important thing that you have for your pastry. Um, so you got the flour to give it the structure. The fat, particularly the butter, the oil, add the richness and texture to the product. The sugar add the sweetness and the color, and of course the eggs, the blind, the lift, the enrich the final product at the end. By changing how you use this ingredient, you can create hundreds and hundreds of different kind of dessert. So the basic is always that the four important ingredient that you have: the flours, the fat, the sugar, and the eggs.
Those, those are the essential ingredients when you are doing a something in pastry, people. And what are the essential tools, Chefy, that every future pastry chef should own? Oh,
Well,
just like,
you have to be a future pastry chef. Of course, you need a digital scale. That's for sure.
oh yes.
Mixing bowl a lot. Whisk and spatula many. Baking pans and molds are very important. Depends on what you want to do. If you want to do something particularly, and we can go deeper on that in the future. Thermometer very important. There is different kind of thermometers and oven, and that you understand well, because it's very important to know your oven. So sometimes when you look in your oven and you see one side is cooking more than the other one, so you have to understand which part it's cooking more. So you have to understand when you have to turn around the trays to make sure that they cook in all the same equal way. um, some because not everybody have a professional oven at home, so we have to adjust ourselves for what we have at home. And it's very important to learn about your oven. That's the most important thing, the most important technique that the pastry chef does. Learn is how to use his tools 100%.
Yes, definitely. You need all those, well, uh, in the kitchen, people. You need to arrange first before you will do your recipe, just like your croissant or donuts or whatever things that you're doing in the kitchen. Prepare your utensils first. So,
Yes.
Shafi, the big pastry families listener will explore something like, well, the next future of our next episodes will be how to make a cake, like laminated dough, custard tarts, and a lot more. So how would you prepare for that for our next episodes?
Well, we're gonna teach a little bit of that. So we start from the beginning. So we're gonna start maybe with the like to make a tart. The crust, the how to make the shoe. The what they call in Italian bignè. So we're gonna start from the really beginner. So what we when whatever you go, any school you go, pastry school you go, that's what the basic is. So we're going to start from then. Then after that, we're going to go on and start to talk about cakes, start to talk about, like you said, laminated dough, like a croissant, puff pastry. That's going to be one of the sooner as a recipe that we're going to give, how to make a croissant at home, but in an easy way. I'll give you the. Sometimes I'm going to give the a little bit like a little bit difficult recipe, but at the same time I'm going to give you even an easy way to make it. So it's sometimes it's to get to understand. In the restaurant and hotel is different how to do at home. So it's we try to combine both at the same time to show you how the professional people do and how you can do at home. At the same way.
Certainly, it's different from hotel, from at home, different setting, different ingredients, different utensil. But
Yes.
people, make sure that your utensil that you need will be prepared first before you do the first step of what you are doing. So, Shapi, the common beginner mistakes and how
Okay.
professional think differently. Mm.
Okay, so beginner mistake of skip the weight ingredient. That's normal. They rush the steps well, very much. They ignore temperature. That's a very important thing, and change recipe too soon. Like, okay, I don't want to do this one because it didn't come out good. I'm gonna try another one. No, 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 no. Professional is different. You professional people they follow the recipe. That's the first step of a professional pastry. Understand the way the steps matter because you had to sometimes you had to wait hours to do to roll a puff pastry or so it take time so you have to understand the step one by one and most importantly it's a practice the basic again and again and again. That means if you don't change a recipe because it didn't come out the first time, you have to try again and again and again because the recipe is good. It just maybe you miss some step on it and or you didn't follow the recipe very well. That's why when you create when you have a recipe or you follow a recipe, you have to make sure that you follow by step by step, one by one, and don't skip the steps.
Follow the steps, people, because in pastry you need to be precise. Not like in cooking. Okay, voila, put the ingredients and then saute, put the ingredients after cover it and after then voila, it comes naturally. But in pastry, no, people, you need to measure it. You need to be precise to make it will puff like the croissant. It will be failed if you will not follow the exact direction of how to make croissant or anything in the pastry world. So Shafi, so after the what the weakness or what do you call that? What are the ingredients that we can see in the future in our next episodes that we will talk
Uh,
about?
what we gonna master in the future or what?
Yes, like building a cake or
Yeah,
building a
yeah, of
cakes
course.
or croissant,
Yes,
cookies.
we're gonna understand the structure, the timing, the flavors, balance. Of course, that's gonna be something that we're gonna talk about it even during any kind of recipe. Between me and you, we have always this conversation, asking question, and modify something or add something, and you know, and making sure that when you create your own dessert, you create it with confidence. So you have to be confident in what you're doing, and mastery is not a speed, that's for sure. So
Yes.
it is a consistency and understanding. So you have to understand what you're doing, and you have to be constant, use consistency to always reach the same result and give the the right perfect the end dessert. But like I always say, you always got to make a mistake because you otherwise you will never learn that. That's for sure.
Mhm. Definitely, people don't be afraid to commit mistakes because you will learn from it. And for sure, the first time you will do croissant or cakes or
Oh my God.
whatever, cupcakes. For sure. Definitely you will
In that
commit
case, I will
mistake.
teach you how to use the mistake too. Don't worry.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. And again, we always say that please don't afraid to commit mistake in the kitchen. You will learn in the process. Chef Alessandro, we've been there. So at this stage, we know how to do these things that make it better. But we did this podcast to guide you, to give you knowledge, how to do it perfectly, how to measure the ingredients correctly, and many more. So, Shafi, before we could wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in sixth season, abstract poetry in third season, and my book 101 review in sixth season as well. Geography, comedy 101 in its third season, and of course, our food 101 with Chef Alessandro is sixth season, and pastry 101 coming soon wherever you listen your podcast is our new podcast with Chef Alessandro. Geography 101, Love Letters, Movie 101, Review, Music 101 are in fifth season. Science 101, Sex 101 in its fourth season. A Spiritual Awakening, Trivia 101, Law 101. Mental Health 101, Motivation 101, Entrepreneurship 101, and Bible Verses 101 are my baby podcasts. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Shafi, to wrap up our discussion, our first episode on Pastry 101.
So practically this episode is gonna set the foundation of what we're gonna do, and it prepare all our listener for the journey ahead, and show the pastry is a skill anyone can learn with the passion and practice. That's for sure. And
Mm.
just to give you a name for the next episode, we're going to talk about short crust pastry. So we're going to make one of my favorite crostada. They I love it.
Mhm.
Always say, we always talking on the our food 101. So uh, please join us for the next episode. We'll looking forward, and I hope this podcast will love you guys. Will love it.
Yes, people, again, thank you so much for supporting us as well as our avid listeners or avid viewers. Please do continue supporting us. Either a pastry 101 or food 101 available wherever you listen your podcast soon for pastry 101 because and right now we are only live on social media, but sooner or later it's the same with food 101, and we are expecting that you will support us just like you support our food 101. So Shafi,
American people,
see you soon.
bye bye.